Throughout your PhD program, did you have a chance to get in touch with the community at all, or you were still more in that user phase where you were maybe following it a bit more closely, what they were doing, but not really interacting with them that much yet?
Yeah, probably the latter. So I was definitely more involved in the project, but still as a silent user with that classification from before. As I said, like I was looking at under the hood more. I was reading PRs more. Like, why did you put that code in there? Like, I'm trying to understand things, but I was still, I don't know what you want to call it. Like, I was maybe too shy, too introverted, whatever the right term is. But breaking that barrier was not easy for me until I had another internship with the chapel team. That kind of, something extra needed to happen for me to break that barrier, unfortunately. But that was my journey.
Do you remember how that experience was? I mean, the like when you were looking at that PR and you were wondering why the person made the particular decision. Like, do you remember the barriers, like how it felt? Like, was it kind of fear of interacting with someone in public, or even just to figure out the process itself, how to reach out to someone? Do you remember what were these, like what the biggest challenges that just kept you from interacting, and like you had the urge but just wasn't quite reachable for you?
I don't think it was process. Like things were on GitHub right back then, and it was like, you can just post a comment and, you know, people will see it. It's more on the social side of things. You can maybe like self-confidence. The fact that it being public is a challenge because, what if the question that I have on my mind is just absolutely ridiculous? So you don't want to like put a question like that. Like you don't want that to be your first interaction with the community. So those kind of fears basically were something that I couldn't overcome, honestly. So it was really difficult for me. And I think one of the aspects of this is uh, the fact that open source then and today still is like 90% written communication. So all you're seeing is just words and sentences without tone, and you don't even know, you know, how those people sound like, whether they would like you, like those kind of things always play in your head, and you always, at least me, I always thought about, they won't like me, stuff like that. So that was the the social aspect of it that was kind of scary to me.
If there was no internship program, if there was no opportunity for you to get into an internship program that led you to the community and interacting with the community, do you think there's anything you or rather the community could have done to help someone like you who had this urge to get involved and ask questions and get out there, but to help you overcome those fears and concerns that you had? So if there was no internship program, was there anything that they could have done for you to just, take that leap, take that step and get over your fears somehow for those, I don't know, the 30 seconds of finishing your email or text message and hit send?
Right. That's a very good question. I really don't know the answer to that. It's kind of hypothetical, but at the same time, that written communication aspect of things was huge to me, and still a little bit. Like knowing faces and sounds, like behind those nicknames and behind those words that I was seeing on screen, is kind of the barrier breaker to me. Not necessarily a structured internship program, but like getting to know some of the community members in some conference or an event, and maybe not even that, maybe like an online communication, maybe just watching their talk and just seeing them as a person and not just words on my screen would probably make a big difference for me. And I think that's still an important thing for an open source community to put more human faces and sounds behind written words. I think that's still an important aspect.
So it sounds like that from your perspective, you're saying that communities, when they have the opportunity, they should utilize, like, speak at events and have, those recorded talks accessible in their materials if they have a website, on their website or their GitHub page or wherever their materials are, and make sure that they do some more of these ambassador type of activities to make the community look and feel more approachable. And at the same time, I assume also people like you were back then, during the PhD program, who are looking into getting involved, maybe try to look at some of these talks and see if they can explore the community from the human and social aspect a little bit, even without being able to just walk up to someone and say hi just yet.
Definitely, definitely. I think both of them makes very strong sense to me.